Hi there. So this is for Module 3 with regards to the TRENT Special Education Part 1 course. First of all, I want to apologize. I don't mean for this to be late. I had originally started this as a written document, and I started it on my laptop, and I have lost that document. I don't know what happened to it, whether I saved over it, but it has vanished into Cyberland, so I'm going to throw this together. I have reviewed the case as well as some subsequent readings as well. And I'll start by just saying that, with regards to does Corey have a learning disability, the first question, it was a pretty incredible story. In a lot of ways, I connect to this story. I come from a family of divorce. I was given that responsibility of being the man of the house at a very, very young age, torn from one side to the next with regards to custody, and balancing, Tuesday, Thursday evening visits, alternating weekends. It was always a headache for me and my two younger sisters. So I can only imagine what Corey was going through, and in some ways I do reside with the story and why Corey is who he is and why he acts the way he does, and with regards to his lack of literacy, poor with engagement with regards to math and mathematics, and his articulation problem as well. So I'll just kind of, outside of the connection, I want to speak to a few of the things that I noticed with regards to the text. So does he have a learning disability? I truly believe that Corey does not have a learning disability. So a learning disability is not always as outlined in the Special Education Ontario Schools 7th edition text. It is not primarily the result of a sensory impairment, emotional disturbance, or physical disability or developmental delay. So in many cases, I feel like he is emotionally disturbed. We learn that Corey obviously has obstructions with regards to his visitations with his father, was with his father, pulled back from his grandparents, put into foster care. It's been a whirlwind, so there's no reason to not understand the fact that he's going to have delays with regards to some of his academics. And also, it's emphasized that he also had learned some Spanish throughout his early years too, so that could speak to his poor social interactions as well as with regards to his lack of articulation when speaking with adults in his speech. So where was I here? Yeah, so Corey is, he's in a lot of ways, they state him as being in juvenile shock, and I truly believe that why he is so timid with regards to learning and his engagement is because of everything he's been through. Based on his lack of stability at home, he is medicated for tuberculosis, and he does have a slight hearing loss. So I would emphasize that with regards to question number 2, should Corey be diagnosed with a learning disability to get him additional help? I don't believe, and I do really agree with the principal who says using the learning disability category as a dumping ground for problems that have an alternative solution. A learning disability refers to a variety of disorders that affect the acquisition, the retention, the understanding, the organization, and the verbal or nonverbal information. So in some regards, maybe he should be, but the more I look into it, as far as being, supporting, being identified with a learning disability and to get that appropriate support, sure, it might help with regards to some of the verbal communication there. And with regards to his, learning disabilities range in severity, important skills for reading, writing, and can enhance computational problem solving with regards to mathematics if they're identified. So of course, why not, right? But with everything Corey's going through, you have to be very critical about, him as a person. And we look at this image here in the desk, just kind of, looks tired, looks, depressed, distraught, sad, however you want to outline it. The Ontario Ministry of Education, as according to page 93 in the Guide for Educators 2001, learning disability is a learning disorder, and it's evident both in academics and in social situations, but involves more than one process to identify a proper outcome for solution. So it doesn't just start with identifying the learning disability and putting them into an IEP situation and then trying to accommodate and modify work. It really starts, and in my opinion, this is where down here I have a little bit of my position as a teacher, it really starts here with regards to your teaching style, and also, kind of your strategy for the classroom with regards to Corey. So I would support Corey in every way possible. I would not try to identify him, as I do agree that it might, further set him back. It might, enhance more of like an emotional disturbance or make him more distraught. Try to reach out to him with other opportunities around the school. Present him with clubs, Lego, coding, sports clubs, choir, whatever it is, and find relevance in it. Connect him to the person he is, and promote him as a leader in every regard. Build up his confidence. We learned that he's literally been abandoned, that his mom quite literally abandoned him and went to South America, and just gave up the case and left him in CAS. It's terrible, and although I haven't directly been through that, my mom was a very strong figure at home. I connect with the pushing and the pulling, and not really knowing and being able to sometimes identify with who you are sometimes. So you need to really give him that opportunity. It will certainly help him with his verbal, his articulation problems. It'll build up his comfort with the English language as well, which is clearly an apparent issue in the case. Think about how the student feels here in the system, learning now French also. He was integrated with Spanish, which is, who knows how strong. His English is apparently rather weak in several regards, and now a French language is being introduced to him also in the Ontario curriculum. So remain vigilant with that too. So the math and printing academics will improve as Corey finds a more engaged and personal connection to school. I truly believe that, and I think that's something we all have to strive to do as educators, to not adhere, but to be able to differentiate our teaching and our learning styles, to help those with behavioral exceptionalities, learning exceptionalities, and with whatever kind of obstacle those learners are with. We need to be able to connect to them and be able to have them find their place in education. Thank you very much. I look forward to doing Module 4. Thank you.